Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Will Nuts F1. We are back, and tonight we will be discussing the Austrian Grand Prix. Super busy weekend for me, at least. Super amazing weekend. And a very interesting weekend for the championship. Joining me, as always, is Jordan. JB, how are you doing today?
Bro, it's not been my finest day on the planet of Earth. Um, I probably won't get into it on the internet, but there was an incident involving my motor vehicle. So I'm not really the happiest chappy on the planet right now. And then, other than that, bro, it's been pretty chill. Can't complain about an off day
And
from work.
you had a pretty rough weekend, Ferrari-wise. Brother, can I
This is
tell
always
you?
this is always what this is like the first thing we speak about whenever we join the podcast.
Can
Past
I tell you that we saw after Charles pitted, Ferrari came past, and the first thing Pauli said, she just looked at me and she was like, "He's so far back. What's the point? He might as well just retire."
dude,
And
fuck.
I was like, "Yeah, normally stuff happens." Boom, P11. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Maybe he should have just gone home." Like,
Yeah, bro. Three wide
tough
into
luck, tough luck.
three wide into T1 on Austria is really not what you want to see.
100%. 100%. And yeah, dude, it was an interesting race though. You gotta give. Unfortunately for me, it all kicked off after I left, and I knew it was gonna happen like that. But such is the way it works. Just
Hundred
getting my
percent.
chat up here so that I can reply to all you beautiful people listening to us. Um, yeah, let's start with the sprint. That was pretty clear cut forward, pretty boring.
For the first kind of half of the sprint, I thought that both of the McLarens were in with a chance. Um, by all means, bro, Lando had the move done in the sprint race. He had the move done down into, I believe it's turn four, if I'm not
Yep,
mistaken. He had the move completely done, and then he just left the inside completely open for Max. And
completely
Max
wide
is so
open.
good on the brakes, like you really cannot afford that. So that was,
Yeah,
that was a big mistake from Lando, like as clear as day. But
and
from there, he just kind of got away from him when Piastri was. Oh, to be
yeah,
fair, what a move from Piastri on the outside into turn five.
brilliant.
Brilliant, really, really solid move there. But just a really poor judgment and poor car placement from Lando coming into. He probably should have won this. He should have won both races this weekend, but especially with the sprint, he had the move done and he just left the door open.
Yep, 100%. And sorry, I am a bit distracted because we have to let people know we're live. Don't get that. So my sincere apologies. And that move on Piastri actually cost him because from there on, his tires were done,
Exactly that.
absolutely done. And brother, Saturday was one of the hottest days I've been in my life. Not just for Europe, but in South Africa too. My God, the air was not moving. And that's why I could see they were taking it quite easy. And I think that's why Max got the win is because Lando just took too much out of his tires. Um, and he just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, completely, and especially around Austria, dirty air,
It was
really.
so hot, dude.
Yeah, really. Like I don't know, bro. Like, oh shoot, sorry, the audio on the stream. Sorry for the 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 people watching. I'm just trying to sort out why I cannot see the chat here. Oh, it's all kicking off today. Um, sorry.
Yeah, don't worry, we don't have anyone in chat.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh, wait,
So, you know,
really? Is the stream even working?
we have two viewers.
Okay, no, that's fine. Two views is better than none. I've got the chat at least. Um, yeah, no, Austria, it is quite a high dig circuit as far as I'm aware. A lot of kind of high speed sections. You need quite a
Yeah,
high speed setup for the
and a lot
track.
of traction.
Exactly that does take a toll on the tires, and sitting inside the dirty air, it really doesn't assist your whole program. And Austria, even if we look down into the feeder categories, we did see some really good races in the feeder categories, but again, it was just very much a situation of being stuck in the dirty air, losing quite a bit of time, and then being caught in a DRS train.
100%. That's all it was on Saturday. It was so hot that if you just got caught behind someone, your tires were getting absolutely shredded. Even in first, your main objective was not to make the tires fall off because, of course, you'll tow everyone with the DRS. So you're just going to make sure your tires don't fall off. because it was really easy. I mean, it was so interesting to see the difference in speed between quali and race pace, dude. Like quali, they were sending it, and race, they were so laid back because of that dig. It was incredible to see. Um,
Yeah. No, I mean,
Overall, yeah.
I was actually going to ask, bro, what was your impressions of the Red Bull Ring as an entire circuit? Because I know that you didn't go for the free practice sessions. You went for Saturday sprint and quali. You went
Yep,
for, and then you went for the Grand Prix as well. What was your like
indeed.
overall
I had
impression of the race?
Yeah, so I had exams, so unfortunately my absolutely fucked me. I had an exam on Friday and then on Monday, so that was pretty tough. But my my opinion, I think the Red Bull Ring has got to be the best track on the calendar to watch a race at.
You think just
There's
because of
no
what? Because
way.
it's like the elevation that you can see so much of the track at the
Like
same
from
time.
100%. I would put money to go to exactly where I sat again. Even if you save money, go general admission there. And from where I was sitting, I could see them come all the way up the hill from turn one, all the way through to turn three, straight past. I saw them go down along here, so I could still see like the passing there, around back up, and then the back end. It was crazy, and because it's such a short track, they come past you more often. Also, it's not
Exactly.
like Spa where you see them 44 times. No, here you're seeing them 71 times coming past you. Um, and once again, you're at a spot where clearly, as the race showed, drama unfolds.
Yeah, we'll get into the
There's no two
drama.
ways about it.
We'll get into the drama in a little bit. So firstly, I just before we get into anything, I want to address something. I have made a very foolish bet on this podcast. Very, very,
Just gonna wait
very.
for you to bring it up.
I have made a very foolish bet on this podcast, and I quote myself: if Mercedes Benz wins a Grand Prix before race 12, I will get a Mercedes logo tattooed on my ass cheek. What happens? Race 11,
Oh,
the
brother.
last possible race, Mercedes goes and does it. Because, well, we'll get into
Bro.
it, because Max and Lando had an oopsie. Dude,
Just
what the fuck? I am not happy. This is ridiculous, bro. How is this the circumstance that results in me getting a permanent tattoo on my ass of the Mercedes logo?
valid. Valid, 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 valid. I
Yeah.
think it's hilarious, and the fact that it happened this way has got to hurt so much more, like so much more, because it was not on merit. It was not on merit. There were three things that went wrong that allowed Mercedes to win, and one of those was Oscar's track lap time deletion, in quali. Yeah, obviously the incident, and then even turn one, the opening lap where he was quite fortunate with where he sat. So
Yeah, dude, you know what? You know what, everybody? I will actually be getting this tattoo. Let's not put a damp on that. It was supposed to be today. It was supposed to be live streamed today, but as I said, unfortunately, I had the car accident this morning. So
valid.
unfortunately, I wasn't able to go through and get it done. But it will be coming, and I will live stream the entire tattooing process. If Instagram allows me to show my butt cheek, you will be able to see my entire tattoo process being done. I've got a very lovely lady who works next door to me. Her name is Raquel. She works for a company called Tattoo Styles. She is a very
He
irritating.
wants sponsor money now.
Yeah. Gerald, hit me up. I need the money. No, Gerald is my normal tattoo artist. I don't know if you guys have seen, but he's already done some pieces on me. It's getting worked on. But Raquel, who is his apprentice, she's a very good friend of mine. She's going to be tattooing my ass cheek. So I will stream this whole process. She's going to sort me out with a tripod that I can pop there on the floor and stream the entire thing. So if you
Chat,
guys...
you got to be more. You got to be more engaging with all this news. Come on, this is
Exactly
so
that.
exciting.
So when you guys do have a chance, Instagram, plug time. Instagram, at WheelnutsF1, that's where the stream will be happening. I will probably upload it as a short as well, or a reel, and I will be also live streaming it to our story. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, WheelnutsF1, which we have more followers on than we have YouTube subscribers, and I've been checking the analytics. over our past 5 to 7 videos, 59% of the people who have watched have not been subscribed. Subscribe, motherfuckers, before I come to your house. I will come to your house.
You think Duolingo is bad? We got on a new level.
Exactly that, bro. So go and follow us on Instagram. I will be live streaming the entire process there. But yeah,
Come
so
interact in the chat. Yeah.
I've
You
got
guys are so quiet today.
the tattoo will be about yay big of the logo, and then underneath it's gonna say AMG Patronus. So I've already settled on the design. It's already gonna happen. Unfortunately, this is how it's happened. But I think, I mean, to be fair on George, like that's all the Mercedes could have achieved this weekend. Really, realistically, P3 was the best that they could have hoped for.
No. Yes. Yes. Valid. I was gonna. The reason I jumped to say no was because I was gonna say Hamilton was faster, but he was driving with a fucking hole in the side of his car and losing like 3 to 4 tenths per lap because of a hole and then floor damage. But you're 100% right. Would he have beaten second and first? Probably not.
Not a chance.
So
Bro.
that was my initial is George's best realistically, if everything went perfect, was actually fourth behind his teammate.
For sure.
So
Well,
valid.
I think maybe P3, P4 was the best possible outcome Mercedes could have hoped for.
For the Merc, yeah.
And the fact that incident happened promoting George to P1, that's why I was quite upset about it. I know that there was a photograph of me, distraught, I'll say it that, distributed. I might actually share that to the Wheelnuts F1 Instagram. I'll share that basically when I make a post about the tattoo. But yeah, dude, I was not a very happy chappy. But congratulations to George. I mean, so far this season, he hasn't been the best driver in race trim, but he's managed to put the car in the place that it needs to be on more occasions than not. And he's been rewarded for it.
And he didn't crash. And that's a big deal for George.
Exactly
so
that.
Not all happy. He had to work hard for that in the way of not crashing.
For sure. So, I mean, realistically, big up to George. Big up to George for the W. And then, yeah, bro,
that was not easy.
I really was hoping that Oscar would manage to squeeze his way back past, kind of weasel his way back into the lead eventually. But I think he just left his job too late, too long, and his tyres were done, so George managed to hang on. So yeah, good result for Mercedes. I know you must have been pretty chuffed to see the silver arrows back on top.
Yes, but it was met more with pain and sadness than anything else, because the way I found out was Schroeder texting me, "I can't believe you were there to see it," whilst I was in the car on the way to the airport, and I'm like, should I just drive into this barrier? Like, fuck it. You know, I was so distraught.
That is so tough, bro.
The fact that I could have, been on the track at the podium in my Merc shirt. I had gotten shit from Max fans all weekend. Like, a few of them would see me and then go, Max Verstappen, or stuff like that. And I'm just like, I can't even say anything back. Like,
yeah, what can you do, bro?
So that was my chance, and yeah, pain.
Yeah, so I mean, I think
great points for the team.
Exactly that. I mean, really, really well done. Obviously, so if we're going to just cap off the sprint race, obviously there was a little bit of a tussle for the lead. Not much happened, and then Max ended up getting the job done. On to the feature race.
McLaren definitely should have let Lando through with Oscar, because I think he would have got him back up.
No,
but
sure.
Yeah, on to the feature.
So I think in the feature... Ollie Behrman?
Fantastic race.
What, in the sprint race?
Yes, no, in the...
He won the F2 sprint. He didn't win the F2 feature, did he?
My bad. I forgot. My bad. I watched the sprint. Yeah.
Ollie Behrman with a little bit of a
drive.
slunker. Can't really... And I mean, bro, the Prima this year has been an absolute toaster of a car to drive.
100%.
Like, if we see the results from last year, where Prima was the outright best car, let's be honest, outright best car, except for towards the end of the season when Jack Doohan was making, I believe he was in a Campos, where he was making that car absolutely soar. Prima this year has been terrible. Like, the Invictus has been faster, the Campos has been faster, everything has been faster than the Prima, and he managed to pull out that result. So really, really good for Ollie Behrman, and I think it was crucial because there were a lot of questions being raised about whether he was F1 potential. Sure, he did a good job in his debut, but it was in a Ferrari, which at that time...
He's higher in the standings in F1 than he is in F2, which is crazy considering he did one race.
Exactly that. And I mean, Granted, he was in a Ferrari, which at the point was the second fastest car in Formula One, and P7 is still a ridiculous result. Like he stepped into that machine for the first time in free practice one.
I mean, look at Perez last weekend. He did P7.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it's a really, really solid performance. But ever since then, he's just been struggling. And I mean, he's been doing his job in the Haas practice sessions, but just his F2 campaign has been completely derailed.
He's just the type of driver, it seems, that's not maybe made for F2, you know. That's at least what you hold on to.
Well, I
You
mean,
hope.
if you look at last year, bro, he was performing lights out. Like he won the Baku, he qualified on pole on Baku, where his steering column was completely bent. He, in order to drive in a straight line, he was holding his steering wheel like this, and he still qualified on pole. He was doing a bang up job last year. This year's just the cars let him down. I don't think he's not made for Formula 2.
Yeah.
I think that entire Prema package is just not good. But yeah, big up to him. I think in the F1's, the feature race, obviously lights out, away we go. Tragic for Charles Leclerc. Absolute tragedy. Absolute I almost started crying. 3 wide into turn 1, it's never going to work. And knowing Charles' luck, he's the one that gets the damage. Has to put lap 1, and as Pauli so rightly said, what's the point? What's the fucking point anymore
Brother,
with
he was
Ferrari?
so point. It's so far. And it's so funny because on TV you see it and you're like 20 seconds. Oh, sure. But then you see 20 seconds in real life and you just see the whole pack. You wait, and this lone red Ferrari climbs up the hill and goes around and leaves, and you're like, Poor man.
Dude, like, what can you do, dude? His luck is something else.
It is.
Realistically,
Truly.
Ferrari has been having a disappointing campaign over the past 3 to 4 Grand Prix.
Let's just say a slump. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's
Not
maybe
going well.
like this track type wasn't even terrible. Like it was better than miles better than Canada.
Yeah.
He could have had a result. He really could have. And I mean the fact that he drove it back up to P11, really not too bad. So
Not at all.
I'll take that at any point. And then obviously as the race panned out, I actually found it a relatively boring race. I saw there was a lot of DRS trains at a stage. There was like a 20 lap interval where not much happened. But I mean, there was just tussling for points. Tussling and tussling and tossing and tussling. And that was quite cool to see. But towards the end, it almost felt like it had settled down until the incident. The incident.
No, it was a bit before then. Until Max's
Oh,
stop.
shit, pit stop. Yeah, that's true. That's completely
His
true.
pit stop kicked it all off because he lost like 3 or 4 seconds in the pit stop, and then they gave him old tires when McLaren had new, and that's where, brother, we need to start talking. McLaren at the end of races are becoming OP.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it's been
They are
happening.
becoming insane. Their execution at the end.
I mean, it's been happening since Imola. If we look at the
Yeah.
real, the real turning point for McLaren chasing down wins, it was Imola, where we had 7 laps to go and Lando was lapping over a second clear of Max every lap just to finish like 0.6 seconds behind him. That was the start of it, and it seems just like the McLaren on low fuel is an absolute monster of a car.
I don't think it's low fuel, because otherwise they'd be absolutely ridiculous in quali. Which they're not.
I would think so.
You know what I think it is?
But you can wait. Sorry, Chris. I don't mean to interrupt you. I would
No
say
worries.
they would be fire in qualifying, but they've got 2 drivers who are shit qualifying drivers. Lando
I don't
Norris
know.
has
I
never
think
been a
Lando's
quali
really
specialist.
up this is quali this year. I mean, valid, you have a point, and in comparison to the grid, probably not. But neither is Max.
Well, bro, can
Max
you?
has got all numbers from dominance. Before that, even when he won a ton of races, the memes were always Charles Leclerc pole, Max Verstappen win.
Well, I mean that's true, but that's just because Charles.
But to go up against, if you went up against Lewis, I'd say valid.
Yeah, I mean completely
Because
fair.
Lewis was quite OP, but Max and the Red Bulls, that's what that car's built around, is race pace.
I mean that's completely fair, but if you took the Ferrari qualifying pace from when Charles was getting his qualies and you took the Red Bull race pace, not another car would have scored any wins in either of these previous 2 seasons. Because last year, especially, Ferrari was a qualifying machine, but their car was like a paper shredder on their tires during the race condition. That was the issue. They had pace, but their car ate their tires. That's why they were so far over one lap, because they got maximum performance. As soon as that one lap's done, well, now we're kind of fucked. Now what do we do? So, I don't... Like, realistically, in those quali trims, last year, I mean, Max lost a whole bunch of poles, sure, but, I mean, the Ferrari was just faster over one lap. And Charles, being Charles Leclerc, the best qualifier in Formula 1, in my opinion, he was a little bit...
But it wasn't just Ferrari. It was also Mercedes. It was also, every now and then, like, no, McLaren wasn't really, but it was, yeah. My point is that if you go up against, for example, the Mercedes back in the day, which had party modes, etc., and you get 0.002 or 0.05 off time, Lando should not be proud that he's qualifying in the top 2 every time against Max, who is not known for his qualies and is not known, and the car is not known for qualies. I'm not saying it's bad at qualies, but considering that's not its strength, I think where the McLaren does well is I think it's just the best tire-saving car on the grid.
Oh, for sure. No, I would completely agree with that.
And that's where their first stint, they always run long. And then they go chung chung chung, and at the end they are racy.
But that's what we've seen. We've seen that since Miami, bro. The McLaren, especially on the medium compound, that is the McLaren compound of tire.
Yes, it is the sweet spot.
McLaren on the mediums just seems to work, and like we saw Lando in Miami pumping in fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap on the mediums, and he was just consistently doing it for like a 5 to 10 lap stint. That doesn't happen on any of the other cars. So I think as soon as they get onto a new set of tires, as soon as they get onto a new set of tires on lower fuel, they are able to run those first 10 laps a little bit conservative and then just absolutely gun it towards the end.
But that's it, 100%, and that's why I say their whole strength is in tire saving. I'm not saying they're bad at qualies, but I think their whole strength is tire saving, and you're right. Well, let me put it this way. I think at the end of the day, it is a combination of both. But my point is let's say it's 0.6. It's 60% the tires, 40% the lightweight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd be very willing to agree with that. Like that's completely valid.
Yeah. Because they just get, and that's how I knew when I was walking away from that thing. I think Paulie thought I was being funny, but I said action's gonna start kicking off now, and I'm not being funny, but all because near the end of races, McLaren just flick a switch and that car gets like 100 extra horsepower and brand new tires and off they go. And it's crazy.
So, to all of my McLaren fans...
that's why I'm so excited.
I know the McLaren fans already love me, so let me make it a bit better for them.
Well, they're quite quiet in the chat today, so clearly you're not upsetting them too much.
Let me upset them quite a bit. Lando, if he was a better qualifier, would be leading this championship right now. This is the fifth race this season that he has not won because of his qualifying position. The fifth race. He should not have only one win this season. Imola.
Fourth, because Spain, he did everything right. He just doesn't know how to start races in first.
That's true. I mean, that's valid.
Same in China.
Yeah, exactly.
Same in China. There's always something that goes wrong at the start of the race, whether it be as qualifying, whether it be a start. You're so right.
The McLaren at the moment is a championship winning car. Call me a psycho if you disagree. I'll gladly accept that. But if you put a Max Verstappen in this McLaren, if you put a Lewis Hamilton in this McLaren, if you put a Fernando Alonso in this McLaren, they would have at least three Grand Prix wins. They would have won Imola.
Would beat the Red Bull? Yeah, carry on.
No, they would have won Imola. They would have won Spain.
Okay.
And then they should have won this Grand Prix as well. Granted, this one we'll get into. We'll get into this one. This one wasn't really the driver's fault. But also, if we look back, bro, Canada Canada was just a cock-up because McLaren could not make a decision and Lando was in two minds about what he wanted to do. He could have pitted and come out in first and led and finished that race in first. That is the biggest throw of the season so far. This one was the closest he's come to winning, I would say, except for Imola, where it just got fucked up for him. But I promise you, like, Lando is such a butter driver. He's so good, but he's got so many mistakes in him. But
And it poses a question if they'll sort out in terms of, more Grand Prix and they'll iron out,
brother,
or if they just will stay a concern. And that's, I think, the question on everyone's mind.
my thing is, I have no doubt that they will sort itself out. Like, Lando is
that's how to. You've done it well, JB. You've encouraged interaction in our chat by this McLaren slander. Thank you.
Welcome, boys.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, so I do. Lando will for sure sort out his issues. But I think the fact that he doesn't have as flamboyant issues as like a Charles Leclerc has. Charles is crash prone. Yes, that fucks up his race, and I mean, that's really not good. Lando is mistake prone. It's the same thing with less hectic consequences. He is the same driver with less chance of like a race ending incident, but he still throws wins away. He needs to sort it out because this McLaren could very realistically have won at least 4 of the past 7 Grand Prix. Very easily.
I do agree with that. I'm not going to go to the extent of saying very easily, but I do think they were winnable, without a doubt. And I hate to say it, a lot of it did, I feel, rest on Lando. Whether it was his quali, whether it was his race start. I mean, quali and race start, that's already Miami sorted because he had way better pace than Max.
Oh, for sure.
Whole Grand Prix, but he qualified like shit. Canada qualified not great, and he had the pace, but we can also give that more to the team, so I'll keep quiet about that one.
Monaco as well. The McLaren ideal lap was a tenth and a half faster than the time Charles Leclerc set. That was the ideal lap for the McLaren. Yes, there's a lot of
I'm not going to count Monaco.
So the thing is, I would agree. You can't really quantify Monaco as like one of those ones that should be one, because everything can go wrong in Monaco. Monaco is like you're on the limit and you need to survive. A lot of these tracks you're just on the limit because your mistakes won't kill you. Monaco, you'll just be in the barrier, no questions. So yes, Monaco was a bit of a harder one, but if you look at Imola, he had the fastest car. If you look at Canada, he had the fastest car. If you look at this race, he had the fastest car. If you look at Spain, he had the fastest car. Like, can we keep making excuses for this? Or, like, I'm sorry, I really don't mean to be like the giant McLaren hater, but this is a constant pattern of issues. And he needs to be on top of these and winning races. This race, I'll excuse him. Because, spoiler alert, I don't think this one was his fault. But, yeah, I mean, we'll get into that in a minute.
Like, as, I will speak, and what we did say that you might have missed, shout out Caden, is with the way it's been going, not all of it has been Lando, but he has had opportunities that, through some way or another, slipped through his fingers.
Exactly that.
This weekend, I do think. Let's get
Should we get into the meat of it? Should we get into the juice?
So, after that pit, he had quite a few runs at him. I did feel some of them were quite desperate. I'm not defending anyone,
Sorry.
but I do feel some of those moves were a bit desperate. He just threw it up the inside. I did laugh my ass off when Verstappen went, "This is not how you overtake. He's just dive bombing." That is literally what he does. That is Verstappen driving, but besides the point. And I do think he made a fair pass on him. Maybe not fair is the right word.
No.
Max.
I'll fight that, bro. That was a dead fair pass. I'll put my life on that. Lando, that was a dead fair pass. If you look, and this is where my Ferrari bias plays in.
I think it would have been okay, but fair, it was on the line.
So this is where my Ferrari bias is going to play in.
But let's hear.
Let's look at 2019, Austria. Charles Leclerc is leading the race. Max Verstappen, exact same move, exact same corner. Fuck Charles off the track. Max takes the lead, wins the Grand Prix. No penalty. No position given back, no penalty.
valid.
Exact same corner, exact same move, exact same incident.
Okay, valid.
This race, Lando, he stayed all four wheels on the track. Max Verstappen did not have to hang it around the
And that's where,
outside.
no, he could have pulled the switch back and he would have gotten the position back real quick and it would have been another lap. But Max doesn't know how to think clearly and intelligently in battle. But
That's also, so I had a lovely conversation with Ethan earlier today. Max Verstappen, if I was to rate wheel-to-wheel combat abilities of all of the drivers on the grid, Max would not even be top 10. He would not be top 10. Not at all. He is a brilliant driver. He's the fastest.
It's hilarious because so many people will defend him and say, no, he is good, it's just tough. He is good, it's just tough. But a lot of it is over the line. Because a lot of it is driving is me or you. One of us is going to die.
Exactly.
But if you back out, cool, then we're chilling. But I'm not backing out, so... And that's why him and Hamilton crashed so much.
Anybody that tells me he's a good wheel-to-wheel racer, Brazil 2021. Brazil 2021. Jeddah 2021. Las Vegas last year. Turn 1. Shove Charles into a different fucking postcode in turn 1. Like, he is just not a good wheel-to-wheel driver.
He gets too hot-headed, man.
All credit to him. He's the fastest driver. Like, sheer speed, he's the fastest driver I've ever seen in Formula 1. I've never seen somebody with the race pace like this. But, yes, as soon as it comes to another car and battling, he's terrible. He doesn't terrible.
Race, he dive bombs, and he just shoves you off. It's literally a mentality of one of us will die. You can avoid it, or we will both die.
And I mean, I think that's because he's quite...
It grates me because always, the commentators will always say, yeah, that was fair but tough. And you're sitting there looking at it and you're going, how was that fair? There's no space on the road left. And then they go, no, he'll be okay not to get a penalty with that one. And then he doesn't get... That's what drives me nuts, is that he can drive like that because he never gets penalized.
But that's my thing, bro. It's like, if you look at like his mindset, he's very much an old school mindset driver. He's like a Senna used to say, either you give me the position or we're going to crash. There's no in between. And Max has that similar mindset. Either you give me your position or you make the decision. The decision's out of my hands. I'm going to put my car here. You choose whether we crash or not. And that's Max's problem. Because now the FIA has set a precedent by not penalizing him in Brazil 2021. By not penalizing him.
Brazil was excessive because he would throw it in the inside from back there.
Did you see?
And they went so far off track.
Have you seen the graphic?
They went so far off track.
Have you seen the graphic? There were 4 car lengths. 4 cars widths between the outside of the curb and where Max managed to make the apex of the corner. And where Max managed to rotate in the corner. 4 car widths. Not outside the white line, outside the edge of the curb. Like, hello, bro, come on. Like, this is ridiculous. But I think the thing that bothered me this whole weekend is Lando should have kept that place and fought it. He should have fought with the FIA because he would not have been penalized for that. I promise you. In the rulebook, if they go to the charter of the rulebook...
JB, he would have.
No. I will die on this grave. He would not have.
I know he shouldn't have, but I'm 90% sure he would have. They are cracking so much more on people. Are you talking when he went wide? They would have, because they are cracking on that so much more. So much more.
When a driver makes a pass and keeps all 4 of his tires on the road, not even one tire passes the white line.
He wasn't ahead. That pass, he wasn't ahead.
No, but I'm sorry, bro, but that's just ridiculous. That is a completely...
It was the pass before where he went wide and then he let Max in behind.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but like...
Max kept that one because he just stayed off track and went like that. Max should have given Loris the position back 100%.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But Max is never... When someone else does that to him, then it's a pass back. Then you have to give it back. But when it's Max, no.
No, bro,
and that's what drives me nuts about him. And that's why I get annoyed, is he's so hypocritical. Like...
And then he comes onto the fucking radio and he says these racing standards. He complains about racing standards, and then one lap later, into turn, I believe it's turn 3, because that stupid kink this counts as a thing.
Correct,
brother. Lando was driving dead parallel to the white line, dead parallel. He did not move his line. Max is driving at a fucking 45-degree angle into his car. Okay, maybe not a 45. That's a bit excessive. But he completely moved under braking. straight into the side of Norris, and he did not make the apex either.
For me, I don't think he moved under braking. My issue was that he didn't leave a car's width on the outside. But
I mean, so the thing
can
with
I give you an interesting hypothetical here,
yes,
JD?
yeah. I'm down for a hypothetical.
So, picture this situation. Sebastian Vettel on the inside, Lewis Hamilton on the outside.
Oh, I saw the side-by-side comparison.
They don't touch. Why? Because Vettel is a respectful racer and so is Hamilton. So Hamilton moves to the side and gives him space. But doing that with Verstappen is just not an option. So yes, you can make the argument that yes, Lando could have kept drifting, maybe done a switchback easily, 100%. But stuff like that just is not applicable with Verstappen. If he was overtaking Hamilton and he did that, I would say, you can make some space for Hamilton. He's quite respected, etc. All that. But with Verstappen, I mean, what else was he going to do? He has to get into a different position there so that it can be further along his rear axle, get a better drive out of that corner into the next corner to get the position. That is the only way he could do it. So I think Max saying, yeah, he's just going left and right. Well, yeah, he's allowed to. As long as he doesn't touch you, which is his responsibility, it's all good. But if you move over and leave no space, that's on you.
For sure. I mean, I just think it was so stupid, man. Like, it's really,
so dumb.
just... So, I understand the concept. What you want to do in that corner is you want to try and come into the apex as wide as possible for better drive or for the corner. Yeah, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
Sebastian, in that situation you were describing, Sebastian and Lewis, Sebastian did squeeze the fuck out of Lewis. Like, Lewis's left-hand tires
Lewis moved
were
wide.
all over the curb. But the reason that Seb was able to squeeze is because he noticed that Lewis was leaving that space. That's because they had enough faith in each other as drivers. I think if... Hang on, how do I word this so I don't get in trouble?
And Seb doesn't cross the line.
That's true. That's very true. And I mean... Granted, I mean, back in those days, the kind of regulations on those kind of overtakes were a bit different, and now it's a bit more strict, which I think is good. But when you have new regulations come in, you have to obey the regulations.
Exactly.
A 10-second penalty for that is not enough. It's not enough.
Half these rules were put in because of him. Moving under braking was all because of Verstappen. And 10 seconds are completely... I agree with you. 10 seconds was not enough for this instance. You know why I say 10 seconds is enough? Is because it was also avoidable by Norris. I'm not saying he had to avoid it. He had every right to be where he was. He also could have avoided it. And I'm now just playing a bit of devil's advocate. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think Norris had every entitlement to be there. He was going dead parallel to the white line. He was straight. He was known he was there. It's all Max's fault, but maybe that's why. I don't know.
So my issue with that, right? That is assuming Lando is staring at Max's car the entire corner.
That's valid.
Lando's eyes are not... Lando has picked his line. He's stuck to this line.
Yeah.
He's committed to a switchback, and he's given himself enough
space.
Waiting
for Max to turn so that he can turn.
Well, I mean, even that. He's braked later into the corner to make it more of a squarer corner to get better drive off of the corner.
Yep.
He is looking up the road to ensure that he does not miss his apex. He's not staring at Max. Max just completely drifts into him. It is not even... I've seen so many people on social media defending Max. It is not debatable. It is not debatable. It is Max Verstappen's fault. How some people... I think it's more of the casual base who's like, oh, well, Lando could have done more. It's not his responsibility to do more. It's Max's fault for the contact.
And I don't mind the move. As you said, I don't mind the move of squeezing him. Not at all. It's the concept of don't cross the line when you squeeze him. And then the audacity to come on the radio afterwards and go, this is ridiculous. Come on. He was waiting for contact. It's it. Yeah, but you do the same. And stuff like that, I think, really is where Max can be a bit unlikable, is that being the son of an F1 driver shows something.
For sure.
And I felt that time was it. And especially being the son of Jos, it really showed on Sunday, because it was just this idea of, well, it's not my fault. Because Jos was also Jos was a terrorist in his days.
Yeah, I mean, he stabbed a mechanic with a fork.
He was. Not only that, he did some other stuff, but yeah, we're not going to get into the heavy hitting here.
Yeah, but yeah.
and it just feels like I don't mind the move, but it's just crossing the line, and that's where I get frustrated with Max. Is that he bends every rule over the line, which I get that champions and drivers are meant to do. Don't get me wrong, but it's my frustration then is not so much with Max, but the FIA for letting it happen. And Andreas Stella was a genius in the way he phrased it. I found his quote was perfectly worded. If you haven't seen it, please go have a look. And he pointed to exactly that. He said 2021, certain things weren't punished, and they're coming up now because there was a precedent of them being allowed and they haven't been stopped. So why would they?
Exactly.
And
Like that's what
100%.
I couldn't agree with that more. The FIA has set a precedent. I said it already. They
Yes.
have set a
Yeah.
precedent by allowing this to go unpunished. Granted, there's been a
Mhm.
couple of incidents in Max's career where he's actually raced really fairly. He's given enough racing room. And I know you might disagree with me on this, but Silverstone 2021, he was racing really, really well side to side there until Cops Corner, where Lewis basically understeered into the side of him. He did have enough room on the inside into Cops Corner. And we'll save this for.
Max took
Hey!
middle of the,
There was a car's width on the inside. And we're saying
Max took middle of the road, brud.
there was a car's width on the inside.
There was, but at what angle was there a Cosworth?
There was,
Not on Lewis's angle.
yeah, there was. He drifted like a meter wide of the apex. But yeah, besides
Anyway.
the point, besides the point.
Anyway.
But there are incidents I can point to where he's raced brilliantly. Nico Rosberg around the outside in Brazil 2016, one of the greatest moves I've ever seen in my entire life. Like ridiculous stuff. He's capable of it,
Right.
but his brain just malfunctions. Like he's so. I think over these past couple of
Pressure.
seasons, he's the exactly. He's not a great pressure driver. Like we saw high pressure situation in Saudi 2021. Cocks that up. High
Not only
pressure
that,
Brazil
think
2021.
about Abu
Cocks that
Dhabi.
up.
Think about Abu Dhabi on the last lap. Instead of waiting for the DRS zone where you've got a hold straight and he can't fight back, he has to go into the hairpin on the inside, push them both wide because he had to get it done then.
So,
Instead
okay.
of waiting a bit.
Abu Dhabi, like
And
I don't even want to
going
look at
down
Abu
the line.
Dhabi. I don't even consider Abu Dhabi a viable race because of how fucked the rules were applied in that race. I don't consider that a real race. So
Most definitely, but my point is, from a racing point of view,
For sure.
regardless the situation, he could have waited till the DRS zone and he would have had a clear path. Yes, we are choosing violence today. We don't have any Red Bull supporters, so
yeah, that's true.
fantastic. I was getting bullied by them all weekend. I don't care for them.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I was very upset when I saw that happen. And then, brother, it's not even the contact. Sure, the contact happened. Max drove Lando completely off the road when Lando was trying to come back past. He's got a puncture.
Yes,
And he just
He has a
drifts
puncture
Lando
and he
off
just-
the road. Like, come on, buddy. What are
That
you
was
doing?
pretty
That
funny.
is crazy.
that was funny.
That is psychotic. And then you let George Russell fucking win the race. Fuck you, man. God damn
Because
it.
of him, JB has to get a tattoo.
I am Max Verstappen's number one hater now.
Yeah.
No,
buddy.
no, I lie.
Yeah,
I
man.
lie. I'm Lance Stroll's number one hater. Then I'm Max Verstappen. No. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not
No, I'll
having
take that.
bad races. He's been outperforming Fernando.
Dude, I don't care. I still hate him. Just the way he looks.
Okay, wait. We need to talk about Haas.
Oh,
What a weekend
factual,
from them.
bro.
What a race.
Oh, no, that's very
Brother.
fair. I mean, the fact
Like,
that Sergio
Hulkenberg
Perez...
with heroics.
The fact Sergio Perez didn't get past him is just... And that's what bothers me about this driver of the day vote as well, bro. Lando got driver of the day when he did not finish the race, where
Second weekend in a row.
Hulkenberg fought off a Red Bull in a Haas for like 20 laps and managed to score P6. Come on, bro. Like, what are we doing here?
And, yeah, P6, P8, great race from both of them. What a performance. They always go well in Austria.
Can I piss Caden off again?
And, okay.
3 races in a row. Yuki Tsunoda's been outperformed by Daniel Ricciardo. But that gets no attention. No attention. Zero attention. Like, Yuki, I don't know what's happened since we've got kind of hit this European leg of the season. He's just kind of fallen away. I really don't know what's happened.
Who?
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki. I mean, he hasn't been awful.
No, he hasn't been awful, but he's just been completely outperformed by Daniel.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't have enough of an opinion because I wasn't really watching Yuki this weekend.
I mean, I've been actually quite.
So I'll take your word for it.
The reason I've been in that, the reason I've been following the story is just because I've been quite interested in kind of what Daniel's options are in terms of his Formula One seat. But
Oh no.
Daniel Ricciardo scored P9 in the race. Yuki Tsunoda got P14. Last race as well, Danny Rick finished ahead. Daniel Ricciardo has been slowly and consistently just outperforming Yuki over the past couple of races. And granted, I think Yuki's just maybe hit a bit of a slump after Canada because of that blunder. But yeah, I really don't know. That was quite a shame. I think,
I agree.
but I mean, at least he's got his future secured. I think he just needs to kind of work back into a rhythm. But yeah, I mean, back onto Haas. Like really, you cannot complain about that. That is as good of a result as I've seen Haas since what, Melbourne 2016. Wait, was it 2017? Where they I think it was actually the exact same result, P6 P8.
I think 2017.
That was with Grosjean and Magnussen again.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, bro.
Like really, they drove a great race, and can I just say something I saw firsthand was how much less confident Sergio is in his car, because I was keeping an eye on when Max started accelerating and when most of the cars started accelerating, and for example in that sprint he was nowhere. Again, I laughed my ass off because I looked at Pauli. She obviously supports him because he's Latino, and she's like, yeah, I'll go. And eventually by the end of the race I just looked at her and I went, you're not supporting him? And she's like, no, he's just too slow. Like, he was so slow to get on those, to accelerate out of turn 3. Like, it took him so long to get on the power. And I think Austria, out of all tracks, is one of the best testers of that. If you don't have confidence at Austria, you will struggle. And yeah.
Wait, am I getting gassed?
Really
is McLaren ahead of Ferrari in the constructors? Hang on, Chris, I need to do some research. I might cry. You're still behind. It's because your driver can't win races. Sorry, bro. No, but I completely agree. I think I don't know if it's maybe the era of car. Because, I mean, Sergio in the high downforce cars, he was really butter. He was actually, even in his first season from Red Bull, he impressed. Like, he was really decent.
Jordan, I just want to say, you're really cooking your goose with how Ferrari has been performing at the last weekend. Silverstone this weekend.
I'm taking my
wins.
That
they can overtake you this weekend.
I'm taking my wins when I can. Yeah, bro, I'm not really too faithful in Ferrari at the moment. You know what? I love them. It's like, I've always said Ferrari's a bit of like an abusive relationship. Like, I wish I could file a claim against Ferrari for just emotional damages, but
yeah.
What can you do, bro? At least, you know what? This season, I will take over the trauma that I suffered in 2022. Anything will be better than 20. Actually, anything will be better than 2020. Oh my God, that was the worst season I've ever seen.
2017 or 2018?
Well, I mean, yeah, but at least we won a couple of races in those years. 2017.
But you were meant to win championships in 17 and 18, JB, and then we've
been meant to win championships since 2007, and it's just never panned out. 2008, if Timo Glock didn't cock it up, Lewis Hamilton wouldn't have won his first. If in 2018 Sebastian Vettel didn't cock it in at the Hockenheim ring, he probably would have had a better chance at the title. 2010, 2011, 2012. All 3 of those years, Ferrari had a decent car. Could have won the championship then. Fernando Alonso.
They did not have a decent car. They had a decent driver.
Well, yeah, the combination was working.
That car was not great.
Dude, it's like, I will be delusional until the day that I die. If Ferrari doesn't win a championship until the day that I die, I will still be delusional. But McLaren will probably pass us next race. I'm going to be realistic. Like, we're just not looking good. But when we get to street circuits, when we get to the Hungaroring, we're coming for you again. But yeah, no, I think just.
No, you won't be.
What do you mean we won't be, bro? We're so butter.
I don't think you will win at the Hungaroring.
Oh, I've got a cramp in my leg, bro. Fuck.
I think your guy's new upgrade is just not delivering on bro.
Chris, please take over for a second. I'm dying, bro.
I'm just gonna slander Ferrari for a bit. Your upgrade is just not cracking, bro. It is causing bouncing at high speed, and that is gonna fuck you. Eventually, that is gonna seriously get you. But yeah, we will see if
Ow.
you guys come back, because the problem is you need to fix your upgrade, and you also then need to catch up. Okay, Jordan, die in silence or just don't die. Pick a
Sorry.
lane.
Okay, I'm better. I'm better. Fuck. Okay, sorry. I'm done.
Okay, well, on that note, thank you everyone tonight for joining. We're gonna call it a wrap. We stated, yeah, our opinions on the clash pretty strong. Was a great weekend of racing. I can't wait to see Lando and Max battle it out this weekend at Silverstone. Maybe Lewis Hamilton will pop in there. It's a favorite of his race. Yeah, Hayden, if you could please stop doing some black magic, that would be fantastic.
Caden's got like a
To all our viewers,
Caden's got a straw doll of me on his desk
ragdoll.
that he's just stabbing with pins, bro. It's like, fuck this guy saying shit about my McLaren, fuck you. Sorry, that was a bad
You're lucky because I just remembered if McLaren wins another race before next weekend, well, if they win next weekend, then you have to get McLaren merch.
This was the last race I said before race 12. I didn't say on race 12.
No, because you made that one a bit later, hey? So
Yeah, but I kept it as the same date. I said before race 12.
Okay,
This was the last weekend for that bet, so I'm safe.
valid. Okay, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I saw it at one point we had 12 viewers. Thank you to everyone. As JB said earlier, please make sure to subscribe, or else we will come do some home invasion and do it for you.
57% is
So please do
unacceptable.
that. Agreed. Completely agreed.
Actually, our worst ratio so far was a 93% unsubscribed rate.
Yikes. That's tough.
But what can
Please
you do?
help us out. Let's get this channel quite big. We will share profits at some stage if you're nice to us, so keep that in mind. Just not for now, don't forget.
Okay, valid. No, but Caden will have his receipts going, dude. This guy and his receipts are non-stop.
Hayden always has his receipts. That's fact. That is complete fact.
Right.
Thanks so much, everyone. We really appreciate it. Any last words, JB?
Instagram, X, @WheelnutsF1. Subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss when we go live. It will...
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but yes. Instagram and all that down below. Twitter.
Was
I
my
don't know
mic
if
not
there was
working?
anything that missed that, but yeah.
Instagram and X, @WheelnutsF1. Follow us on both. I will be streaming my tattoo process, hopefully next week, Wednesday. Next week, Wednesday, live on the Instagram, and then I'll try and get it done then. And then, yeah, just turn on your notifications and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We go live. We try and go live every Monday. Unfortunately, recently it's been a little bit of a headache, but we will get back on schedule
We'll be getting
sometime
better.
soon. But yeah, from me, love you guys. Thank you for interacting in the chat. I love slandering McLaren. It's just my favorite pastime, and I love when you react to it. So, yeah, just let us know if there's anything we can improve in the comments down below. Help us with our interaction. Share it with a friend. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great week. As JB said, we will be getting back on track. So cheers. See you next week.